What's up, guys? Wonder Rob here from Geek So To Speak podcast. What you're about to see is a clip, an excerpt from our latest episode of Geek So To Speak podcast, episode number 184, the Geeky Awards, the best and worst in TVs, movies, video games, and more for 2021. Of course, this video being all about television. We hope you enjoy it. If you want to hear the rest of the podcast, check out this YouTube page, or you can find Geek So To Speak podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. All right. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Do all the things. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's do it.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. It's the return of Geek So To Speak with the 4th Annual Geeky Awards, the best and worst of 2021.
All right, so moving on, everybody, we're going to start talking about the Geeky Awards for the best and worst in television this year. So just like the movies before, we're going to do a round robin saying our fifth favorite to best favorite, and then we'll come to a consensus, and then we will decide what the worst TV show of 2021 is. I'm going to mix up the order this time. Let's go Mark, Vactor, me, then Schaff for this order.
Right.
This time, Mark, what was your fifth favorite television show of 2021 and why?
So my fifth favorite show of 2021 was season 2 of Lock and Key. It's been a show that I've been watching with my wife and son. We watched season 1, I guess the year before that. But I have been wanting to read the graphic novel as well, Justin. So it's on the list.
One of my favorite comics of all time, and one that I give to people who don't like superheroes or who don't like comic books. They love Lock and Key. Every person I've ever recommended it to has liked it.
All right. Should I read it?
Yeah.
It's in my Google Drive from you. Just haven't gotten to it yet. Too many comics, Vactor. All right, Lock and Key. We're going Lock and Key from Mark. Okay, I like it. I like where this list is going. Vactor, what was your fifth favorite TV show of 2021?
Another comic book turned TV show on Amazon Prime. Invincible was my fifth favorite show of the year. They did a great job adapting, leaving it on kind of like cliffhangers where you wanted to know, oh, I got to watch the next episode. My wife was frothing at the mouth. Now, I had told her to read the comic before the show came out, and this was like around the time that Ezra was being born, and she just didn't get around to reading the comic. But when she was watching the show, she was like, what happens next? What happens next? I said, should have read the comic. I loved everything about it. The voice cast was fantastic. J.K. Simmons putting in another amazing performance. I love
pictures of Spider-Man.
Sorry, that threw off my whole thing. Schaff doing his J.K. Simmons. All right, excellent. Yeah, I liked that show. I only watched the first episode. That's why I didn't want to put it on my list because I've been working through the comics. But I do want to get back to that show. I did enjoy it. My number 5 show is actually a 4-way tie between 4 separate shows. And you know what? I make the rules. So you guys can
a 4-way tie.
It's a 4-way tie. Yes, my fifth favorite show.
Oh, I know. Wait. I know.
No, you're not going to say nothing. I'm going to say it. My favorite shut your face. I'm going to say it. My fifth favorite show, 4-way tie between RuPaul's Drag Race, RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under, and RuPaul's UK Season 3. I was blessed.
I know your body.
I was blessed, you guys, with RuPaul from the top of the year to the bottom of the year. And you know what? Shantae, you stay. That's all I got to say. I don't care. I know I'm the minority in this.
So I'm just going to write the RuPauliverse.
I very much enjoyed it. It's my guilty pleasure. You know what? It's actually not my guilty pleasure. I talk about that show almost every other episode. So yes, everything RuPaul's Drag Race was my fifth favorite show for 2021.
Drag queen. Drag queen.
I'm the queen of drag. Almost got him. He looks so scared. All right, Schaff, hit us with your number 5 show.
My number 5 show is a surprise to me. first and foremost, I did not think that I was going to like this show, but I was very pleasantly surprised, and I ended up really enjoying it. Not enough to make it at number one, but it definitely was an enjoyable ride, and for that reason, Hawkeye, number 5.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I mean, especially the fact that they brought in Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
No, there's
Spoilers.
no spoilers.
I haven't finished it yet. No,
no,
that's your fault. Dude.
Disney's out here plastering his face all over everything in their commercials, so it's no secret.
And I like that it was a Christmas show. That was a nice feature with the fact that it came out around Christmas time. Like it had a good setting. It introduced some cool characters. It's nice to see where this is going to go next. We even had some more Yelena Belova, and who doesn't like she? So yeah, Hawkeye for sure, number 5.
Hawkeye's number 5. All right, Mark, what's your number 4 favorite TV show of the year?
My number 4 was Invincible season 1. So basically everything that Vactor said about it. I had started reading the comic around the same time that I started watching this show as well, but I'm glad that I didn't read it just because of certain things that happened in that first episode. I've found out are different than they are in the comic, so I was glad to have a little bit of that different experience. But I liked the animation in the show. I thought that was done really well, and I liked the stories, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with season 2 of it.
Excellent choice, if I do say so myself. Vactor, what's your number 4 favorite TV show of the year?
Tied for the funniest show on television. I'll say what it's tied with first, and then I'll say what my number 4 pick is. So the tie, which is also one of my favorite shows of the year, but not in my top 5, so it's an honorable mention. I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson on Netflix.
Oh man. Excellent.
Makes me laugh every time I see his face. I just start laughing. He doesn't even have to do anything. But my number 4 favorite TV show also made me laugh every time I watched it. It was What We Do in the Shadows on FX/Hulu. If you're not watching the show, shame on you. You just don't like comedy. You don't like to laugh. Every season, every episode, they just get funnier and funnier. I don't know how the writing is so good. The cliffhanger of the season was kind of crazy what happened, but if you guys like Taika Waititi's sensibilities, I think you would love What We Do in the Shadows. Anyone who's listening, fantastic show, and it just keeps getting better and better.
I'll tell you what, I'm not caught up with What We Do in the Shadows, but I have been slowly going through season 1. And I gotta tell you, that show makes me uncomfortable. Not in a bad way, but like, remember when The Office first started? And there was that uncomfortable feeling you would get watching season 1 of The Office, like, oh god, like it's that exact same feeling. And I haven't had that feeling watching TV in a long time, so I got to give him credit for that, man. But I can't just binge it. Like I have to take little breaks. That's how uncomfortable the show makes me feel. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was yes, that was a good one. For me, my number 4, this is going to sound wild considering everything I've said my entire life. Hawkeye was coming in at number 4 for me, and I think this goes back to something Vactor mentioned, and I think we even mentioned it on the episode where we reviewed Hawkeye, that even the dumbest characters walking around with a stick and a string can be A-okay if they've got good writing behind them. And I really enjoyed Hawkeye more than I thought I would. It was my absolute, and I've said it on the podcast, my least looked forward to piece of Marvel in a long time, and I was pleasantly surprised with that. Haley Seinfeld was great. What's the deal with Kate Bishop? She's really good. Vincent D'Onofrio was great. The whole thing's fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next. So thank you, Marvel, for making me a believer. And also, the Hawkeye Matt Fraction book is really good too. Would recommend. That's my number 4. What about you, Shuff?
My number 4 is another Marvel Disney Plus series. Go figure. This one surprised me as well. There's actually a few episodes, though, I would say that are not amazing, but all in all, some episodes were downright fantastic. And because of that, I had to go with What If?
Oh, what if?
What if? So What If is my number 4. Casting Jeffrey Wright as Uatu the Watcher was the most perfect voiceover casting I've seen recently. He's fantastic. It's amazing that they got so many of the MCU actors back for voice acting. I know some of them they didn't, some of them they didn't even ask, like Dave Bautista. They didn't even ask him to come back and do his own voice. but all in all, like especially I think the standout storylines for me were the Marvel zombies, and then also Ultron with all of the Infinity Stones was such a cool concept. I also really liked the Doctor Strange episode, featuring a darker Doctor Strange who has basically gone the bad way to try to do a good thing. So I just really fascinating stuff. What a great introduction to what the multiverse could be. And we're only scratching the surface on what it will be. So very exciting.
Excellent. All right, Mark, what's your number 3 best TV show of the year, buddy?
So my number 3 actually has a tie, like some of yours have had a tie. But my number 3 is a tie between a DC show and a Marvel show. And it's a tie between Superman and Lois season 1 and Hawkeye.
Thanks, my mom made it. Bye.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Superman and Lois a lot. It doesn't feel like a CW show, so Vactor, you would enjoy it as well.
Dang.
You can watch it on HBO. But I thought Tyler Hoechlin is great as Clark and Superman in that series. The cinematography in that show is really great too. But I enjoyed that, and then like you guys, for all the same reasons you enjoyed Hawkeye, I enjoyed that as well. And it's probably going to be like a new Christmas tradition to watch Hawkeye around the holidays every year now.
We're gonna hold you to that, buddy. If you don't watch Hawkeye this Christmas, you're off the show. All right, Vactor, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is a Disney Plus show that is still going on right now. The Book of Boba Fett. It is so good to have Star Wars back on the air, baby, as we wait for Mandalorian season 3, which just got a little COVID scare and they had to shut down for a little bit. But the Book of Boba Fett has been expanding the world of Star Wars. It has been going into the backstory of Boba Fett, the character that had only been based off of his look and his armor. They're finally giving you a reason to care about the character. So it's not over yet, but the Book of Boba Fett is my number 3.
Can I it's not to spoil episode 3 that came out just the other day, but does he spend more time in the back to tank? Because I'm getting fucking tired of that shit. He needs to stop taking baths. Okay. He takes baths for 20 out of 30 minutes of the episodes.
Oh yeah.
He took a shower bath.
See, that's where it's at.
The bath of Boba Fett.
You guys don't know about shower baths. Okay, moving on. My number 3, a little show that had one of the best theme songs ever. Who's been messing up everything? It's been Agatha all along. Yeah, I'm talking about WandaVision, baby. I really enjoyed WandaVision, kicking off Marvel Phase 4. Those first 2 episodes they released that were just sitcoms, and everybody on the internet getting butt mad over it. This show sucks. This show's terrible. To everybody going, Mephisto's in it. It's gonna be Mephisto. Did you see the stained glass window? It's Mephisto. That show was great, and I think my favorite thing about it was White Vision at the end, amongst other things.
Racist.
Yes. Yes. WandaVision. I know. I loved that show. I loved it. Too bad the premise is so short-lived. They can't possibly do another season of it, but I wish they would. WandaVision's my number 3. What about you, Shuff?
What is Geek So To Speak if Wonder Robin Schaff persevering?
Stupid.
My number 3 is a DC property on television. It's not anything that you would think on the CW. It's Superman and Lois. I was so pleasantly surprised by this show, and I gotta tell you, I wasn't looking forward to it because, to me, and Superman used to be one of my absolute most favorite superheroes, but when you really get down with Superman, he's invincible. Like it makes it difficult to write a character when he is so overpowered, and you end up having to rely on putting his family, his loved ones in danger. It's a very predictable premise. So when you have that, it kind of loses the impact of the character. But I think that CW did a really excellent job creating a show that doesn't feel like a CW superhero show. It feels much grittier, much more real. And I really enjoyed it. They introduced some cool characters. I really love that they've got John Henry Irons on the show now. Another Superman. From what it looks like, spoiler alert, looks like they might be going down the path towards Doomsday in season 2. So we'll see what happens there, but very exciting show. And I'm looking forward to season 2.
Doomsday. Oh,
Doomsday.
no. All right, Mark, what's your number 2 favorite show of the year, buddy?
So my number 2 favorite show of the year is another Disney Plus Marvel TV series, and it was Loki. Now,
Loki chose Loki.
This one I went back and forth with if this was going to be my number 1 or the number 2, but you guys know I have a puppy named Sylvie, so I obviously liked the TV show a lot.
You have a puppy? Oh my God.
But yeah, I loved the TV show Loki a lot. It felt a lot of the times similar in like tone to Doctor Who. I liked a lot of the time travel stuff that was going on with the show. And I liked the chemistry between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston in it.
Wow.
And then we got Jonathan Majors in there, that Schaaf's favorite human being on earth.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jonathan Majors is great, and he was awesome in Lovecraft Country as well. But I'm looking forward to seeing more from him and other Marvel stuff later down the line. But yes, Loki, awesome show.
Excellent pick.
Great choice.
What about you, Vactor? What's your number 2?
Number 2 is Loki.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Everything that Mark said, I will agree with. I also want to say that Jonathan Majors was great in Last Black Man in San Francisco, so you need to watch that if you have not. I like the character of Loki a lot. Tom Hiddleston's performance, was one of the standouts from, as Rob says, Thor: The Dark Thor. Everything about the show from top to bottom is what we wanted out of a comic book show, and leaving us, asking where is it going to go into the changes for the whole entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then season 2, what's going to happen. So leaving us on the edge of our seats and wanting more. Fantastic job, Loki. And also, there is an assembled episode, like I said, just like with the Shang-Chi, you should watch the Loki one. Some great behind the scenes stuff on there.
Excellent pick.
Nice.
My number 2, surprise, Lego Masters season 2 was my second favorite show of the year. Suckers. A little show. I don't know if you've heard of it. A little Lego competition, a Lego build show. That show, I forget it exists. And then when I'm like, oh, we should watch Lego Masters, and then I just get sucked into it, man. And I want to keep watching the creativity, the builds, Will Arnett, everything about Lego Masters is fantastic. And it just got renewed for season 3, Schaaf. So we'll be talking about Lego Masters season 3 this year.
Are we gonna have to make another bet?
Maybe, but we'll get to that later in the show. So what was your number 2?
My number 2, surprisingly, is not Lego Masters season 2. My number 2 is WandaVision.
Okay.
I really enjoyed WandaVision. It was another one that I wasn't like super thrilled about because I just didn't care too much about Scarlet Witch. I loved Vision, but we knew Vision was gone. So this was going to be kind of a weird concept of how they're bringing him back. But it was the type of show that I remember, like we always joke about, did I see the new episode yet? Right. Like, cause usually I was watching it at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Like
Yeah.
I was trying to watch it as early as possible. And I remember theorizing so much about this show.
Magneto's gonna be in it.
Yeah. And I really got deep into the theories. And I know for shows like that, when I do that, I know I'm hooked. Like I am absolutely fully enthralled, fully engaged, just so engorged with fandom for it. So don't you make that face. You know you like it. But yeah, so WandaVision for me is where it's at. I love that they introduced the alternate version of Pietro. I really hope there's more to it than what this movie showed. I really hope that
Probably
this
not.
character comes back
Boner.
and does something else in Multiverse of Madness. That'd be pretty badass. I consider Multiverse of Madness to be season 2 of WandaVision. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, we'll see. We'll see. Speaking of we'll see what happens, here we are at our number 1 best TV shows of 2021. Mark, hit us with it. What was your favorite thing this year?
My number 1 TV show of last year, I can guarantee none of the other 3 of you will have as your number 1 as well. And it was season 2 of Ted Lasso. I really enjoy the show.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding around. For the audio listeners, I just pretended to die. Okay, continue.
I just really enjoy the show for everything that it stands for, as far as like the sentimentality in it, about just being a kind person and like paying that forward, about how also sometimes that's not always the best thing to do. And Jason Sudeikis is great in the show. Brett Goldstein is awesome. Brendan Hunt is amazing in the show as well. I would highly suggest anybody that hasn't watched it, check it out. It is a show that is about football, or known as soccer in the US, but it's also not really about that too. So if you're worried to watch it because you don't like sports, I would suggest watching it anyways, because it's not really about sports.
All right.
Ew.
Does Jason Sudeikis do the Running Man?
Yeah, he does the "What's Up with That" dance.
Yeah, good.
So
good. Maybe I'll watch it then. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Vactor, what's your number 2, buddy? I mean, no, your number 1. Hit me with your number 1.
My number 1 is WandaVision on Disney Plus. For all the things that everyone said, the structure of the different sitcom genres was always fun, week to week, going through. I probably liked the characters the most going into it, and I still liked them coming out of it. Also, the very first episode of Marvel's Assembled is on WandaVision, and it is fantastic. You should watch it, and you should also watch WandaVision.
Excellent choice. My number 1
WandaVision was actually a really good TV show.
My number 1 show of 2021, this might come as a shocker to everybody, but it was a little show called Loki on Disney Plus. I loved it. Loki is a very compelling character. Tom Hiddleston, the way he plays it, is great. The variants, the Time Authority. Gosh, there's so much I could say about that show. Crocodile Loki, great. I think episode 5, was it episode 5, where he was just stuck in it with all his variants running around? That was fantastic. I can't say enough wonderful things about Loki. I can't wait to see where it goes. Can't wait to see how it ties into Multiverse of Madness. Can't wait to see what season 2 happens. Spoiler, Loki's rumored to be in Multiverse of Madness, so we'll see. That was my number 1. What about you, Shaw? If it's all coming down to you, what was your number 1 show?
Well, I think no surprise for me. I have an absolute man crush on Jonathan Majors, and I would be remiss if I did not put my favorite show of 2021 as Loki. That was another show that I was waking up early and watching. I remember being on vacation in Washington, and I still woke up early, like 2-3 a.m., and I grabbed my laptop and I sat like away from where Sarah was sleeping, where Emily was sleeping, and I'm I'm like watching it. And I remember it was the episode where Jonathan Majors was revealed as He Who Remains, and his performance, and I had to like inaudibly scream over how great it was. Like it was just nothing but silence coming out of my mouth, but my face was like, it was just so good. It was so good. The dude convinced me that he is one of the most epic actors of all time. And I've now since gone back and started watching Lovecraft Country as a result. So I highly suggest people check out that show as well. Another great show. But Loki, absolutely.
Loki's it. All right. So we've got all our favorite shows listed. Here I'm going over the list. So I listed Loki as number 1. Schaff listed Loki as number 1. Vactor didn't. Oh no, Vactor had Loki as number 2, and Mark had Loki as number 2. Where did WandaVision end up? Schaff had WandaVision at number 2.
Yeah, if 3. WandaVision had been the first choice for Mark, then it would have been a tie for Loki and WandaVision. But because WandaVision is not included in Mark's
thanks a lot, Mark.
Mark.
Then I think we have to give it to Loki.
Yes, I think Loki is the winner. Hit him with the voice.
And the geeky goes to Loki season 1.
Fantastic. All right. Now, same rules apply. We're going to go round robin. Your least favorite, worst show of 2021, biggest disappointment, just the one, and we'll see what we come up with. Same order. Mark, what was your least favorite thing to watch in 2021?
So this one bummed me out because I was looking forward to watching it. But why The Last Man? Because I actually haven't even finished the season because I just kind of lost interest.
Mark hates women.
No.
Well,
that's
in Mark's
just
defense,
kidding.
It's a show that's hard to get into now because you know that the show got canceled.
Yeah.
So and I've watched every episode of Why the Last Man, and it really is kind of a big bummer that we don't get to find out what happens next. Obviously, we can turn to the graphic novels, and very thankful to Vactor, Vactor Loves Comics, for introducing Why the Last Man. I've read the first volume of Why the Last Man, and it is pretty excellent. The show definitely goes its own way with it, but Mark, I think that if you saw did you see the whole thing?
No, I think I have 2 episodes left.
Oh, it gets really good. You got to watch the remaining 2. I don't think it would make this list.
Yeah, I'll finish
as the worst if you watch those last 2.
It's too late. He said it was the worst. He said it. It's on the list. Vactor, worst show of 2021. Hit us with it, buddy.
Well, I wouldn't say this is the worst show. Just like my Venom, this is the most disappointing to me, and it is a tie between Why the Last Man and Cowboy Bebop. Both shows I love the source material and highly recommend the source material for both, but they just did not live up to my expectations, and both got canceled.
All right, there you go. Maybe if they put the sequel series Cowboy Rocksteady on, that one might be a little.
Oh, you
better.
got jokes.
Yeah, I do. I'm putting my worst show of 2021. I'm interested in seeing everybody's reaction. A little show called Batwoman. Sucks. Stupid. Terrible. Hated it. And I only watched the
season 2 premiere.
The season 2 premiere. And I was like, no, this is dumb. I hate it. I didn't even have to think about it when I was going over the list of everything. I did not enjoy watching that show. I did not. And don't go back and see if I said anything different, because past Rob doesn't know any better. Present Rob is who you want to listen to. That show got my worst. What about you, Shop?
Wonder Rob, you will be pleased to know that I completely agree with you 100%.
Oh man.
Batwoman season 2 is an atrocity of television. It is awful. I cannot believe that this show continues. I cannot believe that that it's still on. I can't believe that it's going to keep on going. I can't believe they just introduced another Joker. It's just ridiculous.
All right. So I think unlike the last round, we actually had two picks for the same show. So I think it's safe to say that the disembodied voice is going to announce the worst show of 2021.
Well, wouldn't
Yeah.
it be a tie? Because me and
the
Mark
Geeky
both
goes
said it.
to.
Did you say it? Hold on. Hold on. Vactor has a good point.
Wait, what?
Mark and I both had the same, and you and Rob and Shaw both had the same.
All
you
right.
Didn't let me finish.
All right. No, I forgot was the problem, but you may or may not have redeemed the situation, Shop, but we'll never know because Vactor chimed in. So why don't you say the correct answer, Shop?
And the Geeky goes to. It's a tie between Batwoman and Why the Last Man.
All right, there you have it, folks. The best and worst of television in 2021.